Hey everybody, this is Jesse P. Gilmore, agency transformation coach and founder of Niche in Control, creator of Leverage for Growth.
And I'm Lucas James, founder of Twiz.io, which scaled from $0 to $200,000 a month with my own agency.
We are the hosts of Leverage for Growth podcast agency leverage episodes. We know that in order to scale your agency successfully, there are multiple shifts that need to happen within the founder's mindsets, skill sets, and leadership styles. We are on a mission to interview marketing and PR agency owners on their journey to 6, 7, and 8 figures and leverage the lessons from their journey to save you time, energy, and money in order for you to get your agency to the next level. If you find value in these episodes, watch the case study video to learn more about Leverage for Growth and how we successfully scale agencies quickly at nicheincontrol.com/case study. That's nicheincontrol.com/case study. You are now listening to Leverage for Growth. Hey everybody, this is Jesse P. Gilmore, founder of Niche in Control and creator of Leverage for Growth. Welcome to the Agency Leverage Edition. Today I am here with Nicolas Ullah, the founder of Numinal Agency, an LA-based sports marketing agency on a mission to help athletes align their personal values with their media and brand strategy. Thanks for coming to our show today, Nicolas.
Thanks for having me, Jesse. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about the history and background of your agency?
Absolutely. I would love to. So I started my career working in advertising and advertising agencies before transitioning to the brand side. And in 2011, I moved from Germany to the US, Los Angeles to be specific. And from that time on, I mostly worked on the brand side. And on the brand side, I was exposed to a lot of sponsorships and marketing partnerships with professional athletes, and found it very interesting always. I found it interesting how much money athletes are leaving on the table by not really building their brands and building a brand for themselves and looking into their marketability. But I guess that's what makes them great too, right? Because they just focus on sports and they focus on their game. And so you can't blame them. But I found it interesting. I found that there's an opportunity. And fast forward to 2021, finally started my agency, and took me way too long, together with my business partner. And we were then able to sign an incredible client. He was, I think back then, the number 7 golfer in the world, Xander Schauffele. So if you know golf, if you follow golf, you know him. And what was interesting at that time was that the PGA started a program called the Player Impact Program. And that was to measure the media performance and marketability of players. And that became ultimately the USP for our agency, where we really dove in. So the program incentivizes the players to be more active across all media channels. So ultimately, it helps the PGA Tour, right, to grow their brand. So they allocated $100 million in payouts to the top 20 players in this Player Impact Program. So the first one gets 15 million, second one gets 12, and so on. So the interesting part about that for us was how it's measured, because it's measured by, we come from a performance marketing background, and it's measured in very familiar metrics for us. So the PGA is measuring that by Google searches, meltwater mentions, which are media mentions, then MVP index, Q score, Nielsen brand index. So we started looking into that. We had a lot of experience working with these metrics on the brand side, but we wanted to basically translate that for athletes and then optimize it for athletes, help them increase their marketability. And so that's where we started. First, it was just the branding, and then we dove into those performance metrics specifically, and that really includes everything that can increase these metrics is part of our services. So even if it's NFTs or if it's partnerships with video game companies, right? So of course it was very helpful for us that we signed Xander Schauffele so early, in our first year. And then shortly after we signed him, he won the Olympic Games. And so, we got real lucky there, and it opened a lot of doors for us. Yeah, that's a quick overview about how this whole thing started.
Yeah. And you had talked about from 2011 to 2021 that there was kind of like the idea baking, and then it became a real agency. What was kind of like that aha moment, or like now is the time to start it? And can you kind of bring yourself back a little bit to that moment?
I think the moment was that me and my partner, we were doing some consulting, and these consulting gigs were just increasing, and we still had our corporate jobs. And I think, many agency owners can probably relate. And, at some point you had more passion for your side hustle, basically. And we had this conversation where we knew that we have a good product, and we have, created certain services that the market needs, and athletes are responding very, very well to it. So it was a conversation with my partner, and he was really the one to say, like, hey, if we don't do it now, then we'll just keep consulting and have our corporate jobs. And so I think sometimes it needs the right partner to push you over the line. That was the case for me. But of course, also finding that niche and understanding that's the need in the market, and this is the type of marketing we can offer.
Mm-hmm. I think finding that niche is one of the things I'm extremely passionate about. I didn't have a niche in my previous businesses, and I see in agencies when they're able to focus on kind of what makes them different or unique, and have the right messaging and everything, it's really powerful.
Yeah, I think the name of your podcast resonated with me, because that niche is ultimately what you have to go for, right? We were too broad in the beginning, and also the consulting was everything marketing. But I think once you figure out that niche, you know what you're passionate about, you will be so much better than anyone else competing with you, right, in that niche. So that's always my recommendation to anyone trying to start an agency.
Mm-hmm. And you brought up passion, and you had also that was my first question I was about to ask you, and you were talking about like athletes and what they're so passionate about. You're also very passionate about it. Can you talk a little bit how you've brought passion into your agency and kind of creating a life and a business by design?
Yeah, I think the passion of helping athletes really create a brand for themselves. And I think it started with understanding that they're so focused on their game, and in a lot of cases they have an active career that's very short, and after that the brand falls off. So they haven't positioned themselves. And I mean, you hear the stories, whether it's football players or other athletes that make a lot of money during their active career, and then all of a sudden it stops, and a lot of them go bankrupt even. So I think I realized that, and I was passionate about helping them establish that brand, and ultimately be able to monetize it over time. And I think the difference is, you have a lot of agents, a lot of agencies involved that are very focused on the present moment. They want to monetize right now. But I think that's where it goes wrong many times, right? Where athletes are going in the wrong direction because, okay, let's, sell this shirt, or let's do like a short-term NFT, cash grab. But there's no real strategy behind it that can help them create lifetime value. Once I started realizing that, hey, I was really passionate. I'm passionate about sports, performance marketing, and helping these athletes. I think that was the combination where oftentimes I think it's a combination, right? Like you're passionate about a couple of things. If you combine them, then that's your superpower, right?
Yeah.
Because marketing, there's so many people in marketing, so much talent in marketing. But once you niche down and you understand what you're really passionate about, I think it just gives you something to feel excited to get up to every morning. So.
And over the last, so since 2021 till now, you've probably gone on quite a journey. And if you were to maybe talk to your previous version of yourself and go, hey, do this, don't do this, any type of leverage that you could pass on, maybe to our audience that's also listening, might be 1 or 2 steps behind you. What would you say?
Yeah. So, I mean, number one is what we just discussed, right? That to really, if you're offering marketing and it's too broad, really find out what you're passionate about and what is your superpower? What are the areas of marketing that you have experience in and you're passionate about? In my case, I did a lot of media planning and advertising in the past and felt very comfortable with that. And then, I combined my skill set with my passion. And I think that's where you can create a nice product. So I would say that's number one. And then, number two, I think is as an agency to be able to adapt to the trends in your market is really crucial. For us, it was crucial because we were too broad. We realized there's this player impact program and it's very performance driven. And so we have to go all in because that's a market trend and we need to develop a service for it. So I think, pivoting and understanding the market trends is important. And then, that's just something that I think comes with time. It's just picking the right people and the right business partners. I think that's critical too.
I love it. Add passion and take advantage of the environment when it's in support of what you're going after.
Exactly.
Awesome. For anybody that's listening, what's the best way of people getting either a hold of you, or do you have any offers for them that they could take advantage of?
Well, if you're an athlete or if you're a brand within sports, you can book a free consultation with us. You can find that on our website, numinalagency.com. And you can also find us on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter. My handle is reframe_Nick, N-I-C, on Twitter. You can follow the agency. That's at Numinal Agency on Twitter. And of course, you can find us on LinkedIn, both my personal and the agency profile.
Cool. And for anybody that's listening to the podcast, I'll put all the links in the show notes. And Nicolas, I just want to say thank you very much for being on the show today.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jesse. Appreciate it.
Agency owners, if you want to transform your agency to sustain and grow without your direct involvement, where you can stop working in the business and switch to working on the business, where you can regain control of your time, delegate effectively, get paid what you're worth, and have your team run the day-to-day, go to nicheincontrol.com/case study right now to learn more about Leverage for Growth. You can book a free strategy session with us to look at your systems, understand what needs to be done in order for you to scale, and get a free strategic plan for the next year to live the life of entrepreneurship that you've always dreamed about. Go to nicheincontrol.com/case study. That is nicheincontrol.com/case study now.